What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Eddie Hearn has finally came out of hiding and he's speaking. Eddie Hearn back on the scene with a gangster lean, as once said by a West Coast rapper. But he ain't got no gangster lean. He's got a bunch of BS talking again, a bunch of lying and propaganda, as Eddie Hearn is speaking right now, man. He did a recent interview with Coogan Clash, the guy out of the UK, man. He did an interview, man, and Eddie Hearn, man, he ain't changed a bit, man. Like Martin Lawrence said to Reverend Lonnie Love, man, you ain't changed a bit. You know what I'm saying? Still out here with this, still out here with these smoking mirrors, man. Still out here lying, bunch of BSing and saying a whole lot of bunch of nonsense, basically, man, is what Eddie Hearn is saying, man. Let's get this thing started, man. First of all, he's saying that the fight between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, the reason why it's being held up because they got a couple of offers from 2 different countries, and he said he had to take a look at those, and that's why it's the announcement hasn't been made yet. Yeah, okay, bunch of countries coming with some money, and you don't know, I guess a bunch of investors from those particular countries coming up with some money, man. You got to see if the money is real. Okay, whatever. Look, the 2 dates that he's looking at are November 29th in Madison Square Garden and December 14th in Cardiff in the UK. Now, November 29th is kind of, if you look at that, I looked at that date, man. I just looked at like the 29th. That's 15 days because it's only 30 days in December. That's 15 days from the 14th, and the 14th is on a Saturday. So the 29th is actually going to be on a Friday night. They haven't had too many heavyweight championship fights on a Friday night. Mike Tyson, after he lost to Evander Holyfield, he had a lot of his fights were on Friday nights. He's fighting on Showtime. I remember going up to sports bars, watching a lot of Mike Tyson fights leading up to the Lennox Lewis matchup. He had some fights on Friday night. So that's probably the last time they had, they had a big heavyweight fight on a Friday night. And this is going to be a unification fight between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. So it's going to be interesting to see if it is on the 29th. Now, as y'all know, Andy Ruiz already said that he's not fighting in the UK. So for Eddie Hearn to keep bringing up that the Cardiff is still in the running to stage Anthony Ruiz Joshua 2 is laughable, because Andy Ruiz said he's not going to the UK. So Eddie Hearn was saying in the interview that, hey man, Andy Ruiz is a stand-up guy, but the contract basically states that we call the shots, and and we're gonna tell you where the fight is taking place, what date the fight's taking place, and you just got to accept it. Now you can go to court and get tied up in court for a while, and Andy Ruiz won't be able to fight, and Anthony Joshua probably won't be able to fight either. So he's saying, we wouldn't want that to happen, to get tied up in court. But he said he believes that, the contract states what it is. He signed the contract before the first fight. He was not a mandatory, so he didn't have any kind of leverage. So he basically had to sign the deal that they offered it to him, and the deal clearly stated that the rematch would be dictated by Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. Another thing he said that, Coogan asked him, hey man, what does Anthony Joshua want to have a fight? He said, he said Anthony Joshua said he doesn't care what a fight is. But as you remember, Anthony Joshua said right after the fight in the ring when he lost to Ruiz that he would right after the fight, I don't know if it was in the ring, but shortly after the fight, he basically said that he wanted to go back to the scene of the crime. He wanted to go back to Madison Square Garden. That's the message he relayed to Eddie. But now here, a couple of months later, Eddie Hearn is now saying that Anthony Joshua doesn't care where the fight is going to be held at. It could be Madison Square Garden or it could be Cardiff. So that's either change of mind by Anthony Joshua. Joshua just BSing, making himself look like, hey man, I lost it in New York. I need to go back there and redeem myself. It was a bunch of BS to try to make him look like, oh man, he's a true warrior, a true champion. Wants to go back to the place he lost his belt at. He doesn't want to go back home where he get a little home cooking. He wants to fight the man at the scene of the crime that he lost his title at. He's a true warrior. But now Eddie Hearn is stating that it doesn't matter. He doesn't have any preference. It could be either or. So that's interesting, to say the least. Another thing Eddie Hearn was saying was that, you know, that another thing he was saying that Dylan White and Deontay Wilder situation has been resolved. His mandatory situation has been resolved. He basically saying that they've got till May of 2020 to make the fight, assuming that, you know, White keeps winning and Wilder keeps winning. They got to 2020 to make that fight between Wilder and White, which is complete BS. Mauricio Suleiman, the WBC president and head honcho, has not come out with any statement saying anything about the White-Wilder situation being resolved. He hasn't said anything. So for Eddie to come out here, you know, like he got some kind of inside knowledge, or, you know, he's going to let the cat out the bag early and come out and say the situation's been resolved, and both of those guys, they keep winning. They've got to 2020 to make the fight. 2020 is the deadline for that fight to be made. It's complete hogwash. That's a southern term for all you UK fans. It's complete rubbish is what it is. You understand me? It's complete rubbish. That is not anything that holds any kind of weight. Eddie Hearn is speaking propaganda, smoking mirrors like he always do. Complete BS. Until you hear from Mauricio Suleiman, the situation is unresolved. All this 600 days, and I've been waiting, and this and that, and this and that. Like I said in so many videos and so many tweets and so many comment sections, man, White had his chances. You know, he turned down fights with Luis Ortiz at least, you know, multiple times that could have landed him a fight with Wilder. Turned down a fight with Brazil that could have landed on a fight with Wilder. Could have came over here and signed a one-fight deal with a PC and got Wilder. But he turned it down. Didn't want to go that route. Turned down multiple, not only Wilder, but he turned down multiple opportunities. He could have went to fight Pulev. You know, they lost the purse bid to Pulev. They thought they were have to go over there to Bulgaria, but the company that won the purse bid was from New York. Maybe they would have staged a fight in Bulgaria. Maybe they should have staged a fight in New York. It don't matter. You know, you go knock out Pulev. I know you might be worried about maybe getting robbed if it go to the scorecards or some shady stuff going on, maybe with the drug testing. Or, you know, when you go and fighting in those type of countries, man, they've got a lot of loose commissions over there. I don't know if it's due to inexperience or don't care or shadiness. They got a lot of loose boxing commissions over there, and the judges how they get picked and stuff like that could be very, very shady, and you might not be getting the short end of the stick over there. I understand all that, but you go over there because you are a guy that profess to be a guy that's got power, and you start landing your punches, you feel you can get anybody out of there. Go over there and knock Pulev out. Deontay Wilder was willing to go over there and fight Anthony Joshua for $12.5 million. A huge pay cut than what he should have made in a fight of that magnitude. He's willing to go over there, and you know they would have had those incompetent referees like they had in the Joshua Parker fight, and in the Joshua what's the boy name? What's the guy he fought? What's the guy Usyk finna fight? And the guy that Chisora knocked out, Takum. The Joshua Takum fight got stopped way too early. So he knew he was going to have to deal with that, but Deontay Wilder was going to go over there not looking for that fight to go to a scorecard. He was going to hit him with a one-hitter quitter and knock Anthony Joshua out, take the fight out of the judges' hands. My judges are my right hand and my left hand. I ain't going to leave it to no physical judges. I ain't going to leave it to the judges. My judges are my right hand and my left hand. That's what I'm going to do to close the show and get the victory. And that's what Dylan White could have did. He could have went over there and fought Pulev. I think he had another mandatory with wasn't it with if I'm not mistaken, he had another mandatory he could have took with maybe Emmanuel Char. I think he might have had a mandatory situation. I know there's another mandatory he could have took place because he's ranked in multiple organizations, WBO, the WBC. I think he's ranked in the WBA too. So he had a chance to fight Emmanuel Char for an interim belt, and they would have helped him in the negotiations for a potential fight with Joshua. He turned that down. So Dylan White don't have nobody to blame but himself. You understand me? Don't have nobody to blame but himself. Another thing Eddie Hearn was saying in his interview, he was talking about Amir Khan, Amir Khan, just praising Amir Khan. Amir Khan went over there You know, even though he gave him a little dig, though. He went over there and did a little small show in Saudi Arabia with Billy Dib. You know, he wanted to fight, man. But one thing I like about Amir Khan, he don't care what nobody else think. Then he started bringing up Amir Khan and fighting Kell Brook for the 100th time. Look, man, don't you got any kind of pride, you and Kell? The man has told you multiple times that he don't want to fight you guys. He's shown you multiple times he don't want to fight you guys. You guys are Kell Brook is like a obsessive ex-girlfriend that can't take no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? The man has shown you multiple times he's not interested in the fight. He's out here begging Manny Pacquiao for a fight. Talking about they got a fight signed for November the 9th, and Manny Pacquiao saying, look, we're focused on Keith Thurman, and once we get through Keith Thurman, we'll look at all options. He ain't say, oh yeah, we got this fight lined up if we get through Keith Thurman. Manny Pacquiao, representative of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, didn't even say that. That's what he said. He didn't even say that they had a fight signed with Amir Khan. He said we're gonna look at all our options, but right now we're focusing on Keith one-time Thurman. This is what, you know what I'm saying, this guy here, and y'all sitting up here trying to make a fight with him, saying, Eddie Hearn saying, well, we can probably make that fight at the end of the year. Come on, man, have some pride about yourself. Move on. The man ain't studying about y'all. The man is he's begging Manny Pacquiao for a fight. If he don't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, I got news for you guys. He ain't fighting you guys. He's looking for big names, man. He's looking for big names, and he's looking for big main names in America. He's always been one of those fighters that wants those big fights in America. He wants to be known as a great champion in the U.S. He doesn't care about being known as a great British fighter, a great domestic level fighter. He wants to be known as a great fighter that conquered U.S. soil, like a Lennox Lewis and fighters like that of that ilk. That's what he wants to be known. It's obvious because he's looking for Manny Pacquiao, who has a great following in the U.S., great following in the Philippines, and an all-time great fighter. So that's the fight he's looking to make. Even though I don't, just like Amir Khan Kell Brook need to quit being played by Amir Khan. Amir Khan need to be quit getting played by Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. You've been trying to make those two fights for yourself for the last 5-6 years, and it ain't happening. You need to move on too, because guess what? Manny Pacquiao's not fighting you if he beats Keith Thurman. He's gonna move on. He's already said in interviews that if he wins this fight, he wants a unification matchup. So he's gonna be looking to fight the winner of Errol Spence and Sean Porter. Now maybe if it's Errol Spence, maybe the style of fight that he fought against man, I can't get this boy, against Mikey Garcia, maybe he knows he's gonna have to try to maybe chase down, in his mind, have to try to chase down Errol Spence, and he's not looking to fight like that, especially after coming off a fight with Keith Thurman, who's gonna be doing a lot of moving. Maybe he says, nah, let me look at the Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia winner. That's probably more of a style matchup that'll play to my style of fighting, and produce a exciting fight for the fans, and with me a better chance of coming out victorious. That's one of the reasons why Manny Pacquiao never was a fan of fighting Terrence Crawford, because of the movement, the skill level, the boxing IQ, and stuff like that. And that's some of the same things that Errol Spence brings to the table. But anyway, man, Eddie Hearn was speaking a whole lot of BS, a whole lot of nonsense. Stay true to form. Like I said, like the great Martin Lawrence said to Reverend Lonnie Love, you ain't changed a bit, man. And that's the same thing you got to say about Eddie Hearn, man. You ain't changed a bit, man. You still out here. One thing I give you credit for, man, you are a promoter. You are out of that Bob Arum, Don King school of promoting, man. You believe you can promote anything. You try to prop up anything and stuff that's not even there. You try to say and prop up to give your followers and your fans hope that the stuff that they've been wanting to happen might happen, and in all actuality, it's no closer to happening than it was earlier or previously. It's no closer to happening, but you can make them believe. You can make them believe. You can dig a ditch with a toothpick, I guess. Them UK sheeps will believe what you're saying. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. But again, man, Eddie Hearn is looking, the big news out of the interview to me is Eddie Hearn is looking to stage that fight on November the 29th in Madison Square Garden, or December the 14th in Cardiff, Wales in the UK. Now again, if it's in Madison Square Garden, as I said earlier, November 29th, that'll be on a Friday night, so that'll be interesting. They had too many big time heavyweight fights on Friday since Mike Tyson was fighting after he lost to Holyfield, still knocking guys out, getting ready to match up with Lennox Lewis. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. Just giving you the quick tidbits on the Eddie Hearn interview, man. And Eddie Hearn is still out here with this smoking mirrors propaganda, talking and stuff like that, man. Ain't changed, man. But like you know how I do, man. I stay on top of things. I call things BS when I see it, and I'm gonna stay on Eddie Hearn's neck like I always do. That's what I do, man. So this is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.